Disclaimer: the following contains sensitive subjects, including mentions of pedophilia and disturbing behavior. If you are sensitive to these topics, or if you're a minor, please click off at this mark right here. Stay safe out there. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Surya. Thanks for clicking. What are your thoughts on the analog horror genre? Many say it's the most disturbing content one can find, while others say it's a tad bit corny. Take it with a grain of pepper if you don't agree, but what I think about analog horror is that it's one of the greatest forms of content created within modern day. So many talented artists have been able to expand the creativity of their work and create popular and timeless series such as Vita Carnis, The Walton Files, Harmony in Horror, and most recently, The Man in the Suit. All these series in mind have been able to invent and create new ways for us to interact with the fictional world of horror, probably in ways we couldn't have imagined otherwise. Even the creator of the Backrooms analog series has created a new title, The Oldest View. Analog horror is an amazing invention, and I couldn't be more glad and or grateful to share these days with you guys on the internet. Not only with you guys as a whole, but with a massive tide of minds that are all sprouting with potential. But let's discuss one of the founding fathers of this genre as we take a look at one of the most popular series known as the Mandela Catalogue, a representation of the real world that is haunted by alternates, which are creatures that take the exact form of another person, and they stalk them to replace the originals. This show is the perfect example of a terrifying fear people have in real life, being replaced, to where you either get kidnapped or murdered, and they all act exactly like them, to where the people they trust the most couldn't tell the two apart. For many reasons, it's fair to be afraid of that. But the good news is that unless you have an identical twin, then it's a 100% impossibility.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
Okay, sorry, that was the only cool way of transitioning to the new model, so yeah, no jokes from here on, I promise. My favorite part of the series is where Pastor referenced a moment where a sentence in a book perfectly sums up the overall depressing and hopeless premise of the series itself. Who have I been praying to all this time, as people try to pray to God only for him to be an alternate known as Gabriel? As a Christian myself, this scene hit me all the harder with its message, which forced me to give them a massive respect for such an impactful writing. The Mandela Catalogue is within my top 5 of my most favorite sources of analog horror I've ever seen, and the entirety of this series with its disturbing undertone, visuals, settings, and characters. So if I have such a high respect for the series, then what's the issue? Well, the issue is not about the series itself, but around its creator, as some interesting drama has been brought up within over a week ago, as a Google Doc was recently released on Twitter, or X, where it goes through a long warning about Alex Kister and his history. I read through and took screenshots of this document. If you want to pause this to read through them, then so can you. You can check the legitimacy of what I'm going to summarize, then let me know if I make any mistakes in the comments. A user was in a relationship with Alex. At first, it was going fine, but over time they describe that Alex begins to feel more sexual towards them rather than romance. It got so bad to the point where it was all they talk about for a bit, until Alex cuts things off after confessing that's how he was feeling. The partner suggested activities to rebuild the relationship, but Alex refuses and suggests a friends with benefits situation. Time has passed, and Alex refuses to take therapy, even though this doc describes that he needs it badly, to where he would talk to his fans on what the doc describes as minors about gender identity and cross-dressing within private Discord servers. And he builds a sexual relationship with someone under the age of 18 and shares a bunch of disgusting photos with them. And it all ends with depicting Alex as a villain while his ex and their friends were left hurt. Now this Google Doc was met with a lot of support as a response. Despite the fact that this doc barely contained any screenshots, unlike the Springtrap and Delilah situation, almost everyone believed this document because of how well written it was. Even Pastra, someone who might be young but has a great moral standpoint, read this and believed it as well, sharing and asking people to read it. But me, not so much. This document has a lot of strong properties, but the one thing it lacked was evidence, and so I checked Alex's Twitter and saw a post that read the follow. I would like to make an initial statement in response to Stirring Juice Ven regarding some false and baseless accusations made against me. They have infringed on my privacy and are using it to slander me. I will have a response with my own evidence soon. So instead of making a video about this document upon release, I decided to make the smart decision and to talk about this subject when his response would be posted. And even though it took quite a bit, he eventually posted his own Google Doc on the matter, stating that he would never groom anyone, and a lot of the accusations made by the original poster were either false or heavily exaggerated. Unlike the original, he actually has plenty of evidence to back up his claims, as he takes individual parts of the doc and responds with a retractable response of his own. And that's where the situation is currently raging at the moment. I feel like because of how professional this fake document was written, almost everyone believed it. Pastor later on makes a post apologizing for his input and promises to stay out of this kind of stuff. Great choice on his part. So, what exactly is the takeaway from this mess? It's simple. Don't make assumptions if both sides haven't made a case. It's no excuse to make a judgment on someone before hearing out the other side. So if you are proven wrong once the response is given, then you have no one else to blame but yourself for not being fair to the respective parties. An example of this would be the tuna sandwich situation regarding Subway that was covered by Film Theory twice. Regardless of how different these situations are, the same formula took place, where people released a report saying the sandwich didn't contain tuna, but the report didn't share any of the evidence. It just explained what they did in their secret experiment and not how or why they did it. And when they were proven wrong once the experiments were made by others, they had nothing to do to defend themselves with, along with the people who took their side on the argument. But this situation is worse because of these highly sensitive topics. I have no respect for the people who make these accusations without any tangible evidence to support their claims, especially when they know it's all absolute bullshit. Trying to tarnish someone's name with lies to make yourself stand out is a shameful practice that shouldn't be tolerated. It's unfair to the person you're targeting. You could offend certain people and make the fans uncomfortable. You kill the vibes, you pay the price. But who exactly is right in this situation? Well, part of me believes Alex for having screenshots to back up his responses, unlike the other. I just don't want to enter this debate. The purpose of this video is to let you guys know that it exists and that you can look into this if you are looking for a side to pick. Anyone can start debates like this if they are convincing enough, and this user fooled so many people. So whoever made this document, that I won't name myself, if you made this shit up, then get out. We didn't want you here to complicate things, and to make people feel unnecessarily bad in any way. And Alex, if you're right, words can't describe how sorry I feel for you, and for anyone involved on how hard this was to go through. I hope you all are recovering well. Thank you all so much for watching. Making this video was a nightmare, but I pushed through to spread the news. If you enjoyed this video in any way, shape, or form, be sure to like and or subscribe to the video, and leave a comment so this video can reach out to more people. You alone can indeed make a difference. I make shorts and stream on a regular basis if you want said content at a faster pace. Be sure to follow my socials for updates. Take care now. Love y'all.